Joss betrays Port Charles, revealed as Sidwell's inside agent. General Hospital spoilers. The smoldering remains of Charles's pub still whispered the tragedy to anyone brave enough to listen. Port Charles hadn't recovered from the blaze that devoured it just weeks after the suspicious fire at Aurora Media's headquarters. 2 fires, 2 supposed accidents, yet both perfectly timed to cause chaos in sunny Corinthos world. Jason Morgan, standing in the charred remains of the pub, felt something he rarely did: unease. "I know this isn't random," he muttered to Dante Falconeri, who surveyed the area with folded arms. "I feel it too," Dante nodded grimly. This wasn't just arson. This was personal. What neither man realized was that the truth wasn't buried under the rubble. It was walking among them, carrying grief, remorse, and a secret. Her name was Jocelyn Jacks. For months, Jocelyn had lived a double life. To her friends, she was the determined pre-med student, navigating love, loss, and life after losing Cameron to college out of state. But after the heartbreak and the chaos of her family's world constantly revolving around Sunny's orbit, something in her cracked. And Sidwell, a ruthless tech mogul with a grudge against Sunny Corinthos, noticed. He offered her what no one else had: purpose. Revenge. "You want to destroy Sunny without killing him?" he whispered in her ear the night they met. "Good. Because fire always makes the biggest statement." At first, Joss resisted. But the idea of power, of stripping away the control Sunny held over her family, over her life, seduced her. The plan was simple: infiltrate Sunny's world, feed information, identify vulnerabilities, cause accidents. The first target: Aurora Media. Joss knew Drew Kane had recently installed a new digital vault system containing security footage, classified business data, and, most importantly, evidence of Sunny's off-the-record meetings with international contacts. The vault was housed on the top floor. All she had to do was sabotage the internal server cooling units. Sidwell's people would handle the rest. "Are you sure this won't hurt anyone?" Joss whispered nervously as she left the final server door unlocked. "They'll evacuate," Sidwell promised over the encrypted comm line. "They always do." But he lied. A janitor was trapped for 23 minutes. He survived, but the hospital bills mounted, and so did Jason's suspicion. Still, no one suspected her. Not even Carly. Especially not Dex. The second fire was personal. Charles's pub was sacred ground in Port Charles. A place where people came to heal. Where Epiphany once sang. Where Cameron once played guitar. But it was also the location Sunny had recently started using for quiet meetings. A new upstairs office. Off the books. This time, Joss's mission was clear: destroy the upstairs unit. A flash fire with zero trace. But the wind that night was unforgiving. It spread the blaze faster than any model predicted. The entire building went up. No one died, but Christina was hospitalized for smoke inhalation. And TJ barely got her out in time. Joss watched it from across the street in a borrowed car, tears streaming down her cheeks. She whispered, "I didn't mean for anyone to get hurt." Sidwell's response over the radio was chilling. Too late. Jason, now back at the center of Sunny's operations, grew more restless. The fires weren't random. They were surgical strikes. "Someone's feeding information," he told Spinelli, who was already digging through cyber breadcrumbs. "We need to find the mole." Spinelli's algorithms worked faster than expected. Both fires occurred after system access logs were tripped by a device belonging to someone in Carly's house. "I'll give you one name," Spinelli told Jason. He hesitated. Jocelyn. Jason refused to believe it at first, but the pattern was too clear. She had motive. She had access. She had Dex's trust. Jason knew he had to confront her, but with care. If this was true, it could fracture the Corinthos family forever. Dex knew something was wrong the moment he found Joss crying in her dorm room, clutching a USB drive. "Is that about the fires?" he asked gently. Joss froze. "Don't," she whispered. "Please don't look." But it was too late. Dex inserted the drive into his laptop. Video footage. Audio files. Emails. Plans. The entire operation, with her voice in some of the recorded logs. "Jocelyn, what did you do?" His voice cracked. "I never meant for it to go this far," she sobbed. "Sidwell, he manipulated me. He made me believe Sonny deserved it. That everyone would be better off." Dex stood, shaking. "You have to come clean. To Carly. To Jason." She stared at him, hollow. "If I do, I lose everything." Jason, Dante, and Sonny convened in the Corinthos penthouse. The files were now in Jason's hands.
"Proof."
"Dex gave it to me," Jason said, laying the USB on the table. "Jocelyn's the mole. She worked for Sidwell. She caused both fires." Silence. Sonny's hand trembled on the armrest. "No," Carly whispered.
"No."
"My daughter wouldn't." "She did," Jason said, his voice as steady as steel. "We have to decide what to do.
Fast."
Sidwell's going to burn more than buildings. He'll burn this family." But Sonny's eyes were somewhere else, locked on the memories of the little girl who once called him Uncle Sonny. The child he once bounced on his knee now stood accused of burning down his empire. "I want to hear it from her," he said. "Bring her in." Under Jason's watch, Dex brought Jocelyn to the penthouse. The air was thick with betrayal. Carly stared at her daughter. "Tell me it's not true." Joss broke.
"I'm sorry," she sobbed.
"I didn't mean for anyone to get hurt. I wanted to stop living in the shadow of Sonny. He's ruined so many lives, yours, mine, Morgan's. I thought I could end it." Sonny stood, slow and controlled. "You set fire to a pub full of people. You almost killed my daughter." "I didn't know she was there," Jocelyn whispered. Sonny's voice trembled with fury. "You're lucky she lived. Because if she hadn't..." Carly stepped between them, tears falling. "She's my daughter, Sonny." "She's also a criminal," he growled. But Jason raised a hand. "There's another way." Unaware that Joss had been exposed, Sidwell planned his next strike, a coordinated blackout to target General Hospital's security wing. This time, he wanted chaos and death. No more subtlety. But Jason had anticipated it. Jocelyn, broken but determined to make amends, gave them everything. Every password, every route, every location. "I'll do whatever it takes," she told Jason. "Even if it means turning myself in." Jason stared at her long and hard. "You're going to help us trap him. And maybe, just maybe, you'll earn a second chance." The trap was set. Sidwell arrived at a dockside warehouse expecting silence and shadows. Instead, he was surrounded by Corinthos men, police, and a stone-faced Jason Morgan. Jocelyn stepped forward. "You used me," she said, her voice shaking. Sidwell sneered. "You were already broken. I just lit the match." Sonny stepped out from the shadows, his gun raised. "Time to put out the fire, Sidwell." It ended without a shot fired. Sidwell was dragged away in cuffs, yelling threats. "You think you're safe? I've only lit the first match." "But Port Charles, at least for now," exhaled. Jocelyn turned herself in, requesting leniency in exchange for her cooperation. Charges were pending. The town was divided. Some saw her as a misguided soul manipulated by evil. Others wanted her jailed. Dex stood by her, but their relationship was fractured. Carly visited her in her cell. "You broke my heart," she said simply, "but you're still my daughter." Jocelyn cried. "I'll fix it, Mom. One day." Sonny never visited. Jason did. "I believe in redemption," he said. "But you'll have to earn it. Every day." Jocelyn nodded. "I will." 3 months later, the rebuilding began. Charles's pub reopened, with Christina as part owner. Aurora rose stronger than ever. And Jocelyn Jacks? She sat in a community center, speaking to troubled teens about manipulation, revenge, and how a few bad choices nearly destroyed everything she loved. "I let anger decide who I was," she told them. "But that's not who I'll be tomorrow." From the ashes of betrayal, something new was born. Not forgiveness. Not yet. But hope. And in Port Charles, that's all anyone could ask for.